Welcome to Homestead Love. I'm Danielle, and we're taking a drive to pick up a meat package today. And I've been thinking about something that I have been putting off, and I thought this was the perfect time because I've got a 45-minute drive to go pick this up, so I would have a little chat. So, Homestead Love, my channel. The reason I started it, why did I start it? I'm sure a lot of you want to know that. Well, I have a 16-year-old son, he's almost 17, a 7-year-old son, a 4-year-old son, and an almost 18-year-old daughter. My son and daughter, the two oldest, I'm finding they don't have a lot of memories. They have some memories from their childhood, but not as many as I thought they would keep. And I'm sure some of them will come back to them over time, but I really wanted to start kind of cataloging things so that maybe when they go back and watch it, it'll trigger something and they'll have memories about things we did and things that happened and stuff like that. And we go through old photos and stuff like that, and they'll be like, oh, I remember that, but it was just strange to me. So I wanted to start the vlog so that they had something, and so especially the younger ones have something. And I just feel like I have things to share, so that's another reason. But you know, I've done the freezer full of meat thing for years. I've done the canning thing for years. I haven't had a garden for, let's see, it's probably 7 years. And 5 years ago, my strawberries got old and died. I had a strawberry bed. But I always had something growing. And over the last few years, last year I grew tomatoes. This year I did tomatoes and green beans. But I want to have a bigger garden. And that's part of what this is all about. But I also wanted somebody there to hold me accountable. So that's part of what this is too. There's a lot of reasons to start a vlog, and I'm sure a lot of y'all already know that. But these are some of the main reasons why I started the vlog. But another reason is it's just really nice to go back and look at some of the things that you've done and to see all of your accomplishments and to remind yourself that, you know, you've done a lot. So, I don't know how I would say, maybe a mental health thing, just to keep, you know, remind myself that one of my goals over the past year has been to make sure that I did one really productive thing every single day. And I've done really well at it. I started this back at the beginning of 2020. In January 2020 is when I started that. And I didn't start filming right away, but I did do something every single day. I made sure I did one productive thing. And I think a lot of us don't think about life that way, but like big projects, that garden project, it's been daunting to me. I didn't want to start it. I was scared to try to do it alone. I didn't think I could do it alone. Somebody's getting a house moved. It's a shed house back behind me. Yeah, so I don't know. Can you see it back there? I don't know if you can see it. There it is. So, yeah, I forgot what I was saying. But, those are just a few of the reasons why I wanted to start the channel. And I might wait a few months to put this video out just until there's more people have arrived and I have more questions. Because a lot of people, you know, they don't ask questions like that, but a lot of people do. So it just depends. And I don't have that many arrivals yet. My channel's still real small, so yeah, but I started looking at the greenhouse. That's my next project. I started looking at that today, and I also really would this week like to get the stepping stones laid out so that there's some holes back there that I keep stepping in, and I'm gonna trip. I'm gonna fall. And while that would make for some serious comic relief, I don't particularly want that. So yeah. So I don't know if anybody has noticed a theme with the garden build, but there's most definitely a theme happening here. Everything I've built in that garden so far has been using reclaimed wood. This is my reclaimed wood garden. I'm enjoying it so far. You know, a lot of people will be like, "Oh, that's so much work. That's such hard work," and it is. It is hard work. You know what? It's worth it. Every second of it is worth it, and it's way more rewarding when you do it yourself. Like, I'm a do-it-yourself person. I like to look things up. I like to learn how to do things. I don't want to just pay somebody to come fix something for me. I want to do it myself, and I've always been that way. I think I get it from my dad, because he's a fix-it person. So, and I also don't like spending money. I'm kind of a, how do I say this? I don't want to say I'm a tightwad, but I kind of am. I don't like to spend money on unnecessary things. It's needs, not wants, at my house, and it's been that way for a long time, because for over a decade we were on a really tight budget. Like, you don't spend $5 extra type budget. And I know a lot of y'all understand that. Some of you don't have a clue, but a lot of y'all understand that. And I'm grateful that we finally are out of that hole. But I also don't believe in credit cards, so we don't do the credit card thing. Yeah. We've lived in our house, in our tiny homestead. It's not technically tiny. It is, though. 625 square foot ranch ticky-tacky home. All the homes on the block are exactly the same. There's a couple split foyers thrown in there, but the rest of them are all ranch style, and they're all laid out exactly the same. They were built in the 60s. And we're off on the northern edge of a city. Technically, a city. There's no cities in Iowa, you guys. Look at the population density. There's no cities in Iowa. But we literally leave our neighborhood and we're out of town. We're out of the city. So we're right on the edge. And it's where my husband likes to be, not so much me. I don't like having neighbors that close, but our neighbors are amazing. I do like all of them. I get along with them, so. And it could always be worse. At least I'm not living in an apartment. I couldn't do that. I just had the most amazing visit with my parents, and I got to see my sister, my brother-in-law, my nephew. Got my meat picked up. I got a whole bunch of windfall and apples and pears. I got some green peppers. And, I'm driving, sorry. This big hunk of pepper jack cheese. Yum. So amazing. I'm so excited. I've got a lot of work to do, obviously, but well worth it. So, couldn't be happier. It's Christmas in August. I got my meat, I got apples, I got pears, and I got a farming community. I'm stuck behind a tractor. I get to slow down. This is what it's like. Never lived in a farming community. This time of year, it can be rough because there is farm equipment everywhere, especially on the highways, side roads, stuff like that, because there's cornfields all over the place. So there are tractors everywhere, which is fine. We need food, right? And ethanol. But I think that's, oh man, this corn is laying down, you guys. They had straight line winds come through here. It is not supposed to look like that. Prayers to those farmers who had damage in their fields. That whole field looks terrible. All these storms, I think they've been everywhere, especially in the Midwest. Everybody's gotten their turn. But it's no good when it destroys things. So yeah. So I'm sitting here trying to decide what I want to do with the apples and the pears. And I was thinking about doing pear sauce because I've never done it, and I know my son really likes it. But I honestly think I'm just going to slice up pears and do sliced pears because he likes those a lot too. And that's something we buy at the grocery store that maybe I could avoid buying for a little while. And then I need to make, I've got enough apples that I should be able to do 2 things. Maybe 3. We'll see. But I know for sure I want to do some apple pie filling. And then I definitely want to do just some apples cut up and canned in a honey brine, because I use that every morning. I eat oatmeal for breakfast for my health, and I like to do the overnight oats with the apples, and I actually just take and dump like part of the apples and the brine in with the oatmeal, and then I add the milk on top, and I pop her in there. I don't use yogurt in my overnight oats, I use milk. But I pop a little milk on the top, I throw it in there with a little bit of cinnamon, and it's so tasty the next day. No sweetener needed, just perfect. So it's one of the things I like to do is I like to have canned apples, just plain old canned apples on hand, because they work great for that. And I found, I'm trying to remember what the other thing I do with them is, I have another recipe that I use them, and that's something I do for the kids usually. And oh, I know what it is. Apple pancakes. It works really great for apple pancakes too. Apple cinnamon pancakes. Little chunks of apples in them. They're so good. That was a favorite when I was growing up. My dad would do, sorry you can't see me. There I am. Growing up, my dad would do Sunday breakfast. That was the one meal a week that he would make because he didn't have time. But he would make apple pancakes, apple cinnamon pancakes with little chunks of apples in there, and they were my favorite. So I've kind of carried on that tradition with the kiddos, and they're super yummy. But you know, canning apples like that's super easy. As long as you got the peeler, slicer, core, you just wash them, peel them, slice them, core them, throw them in the jars, and put a honey brine over them. Like, super easy. And you can do about anything with them. It's really nice. They work really good if you're having like some sort of a salad too. So, just a thought for anybody who's interested. So it looks like we're doing sliced pears, apples, just plain old canned apples, apple pie filling, and I really want to do at least a few jars of apple butter, because I've got some leftover applesauce that I can add to it if I need to. So I think those are the things I'm going to do with those. And then the peppers I can I canned them for, I eat a lot of stir fries. I recently had some health issues with my stomach. And I had to change my entire diet and start eating healthier and all of that kind of stuff. So, because I had to do that, that's one of the things I've added in is stir fry to get more veggies and whatnot. But the biggest thing I need to do is eat more fiber and fish. Oh, I turned it off. Darn it. I am so not... this is my husband's car. I don't drive it. I'm not used to it. I had to figure out how to work... I had to figure out how to work his cruise control. And, but I figured for the longer trip today, it's better on gas than my SUV is, so that's why I brought this. But I'm not used to it, so... But, yeah, so I've got some canning ahead. If you want me to vlog it, leave a comment and let me know, because I can vlog it. It's not going to be a how-to, it's going to be a vlog. I don't do how-tos, because everybody has their own way of doing things, and I'm not going to sit there listening to somebody tell me that I've done something, that I'm doing something wrong that I have done for 2 decades. Okay? So, I am not a how-to channel, I vlog. Just so you know, I just want that to be clear. But yeah, oh, the sky finally cleared up and we've got sun and beautiful clouds and blue skies. And I am so grateful, because it rained all night last night. It stormed, lightning, thunder, loud. And normally that, I sleep right through that, typically. But last night, for some reason, nope. So it was the second night in a row I did not get a good night's sleep. Which is why I'm talking to y'all while I'm driving. Because I am tired. And I know I talk funny. I say y'all. And I'm not from the South. And I've been made fun of my whole life for that. But it's natural for me. I don't know. Some people, I think it just comes more naturally for. Yeah, when I was a kid, I even used to say it. And my dad used to give me heck for it. He thought it was the funniest thing ever that I talked like that. And we did, as a kid, I think I was 5, and we took a trip down to Florida. So I got to hear that southern drawl, and, you know, I don't know if it had an impact on me or what, but, you know, I have no idea why I just got in this lane. I need to shut up. I suppose it's because the person that was behind me was creeping up too close on me, and I didn't like it. No. I hate driving. I don't mind coming back home and driving, because small town, people aren't in such a hurry. There's not as many jerks around. But, I hate driving in the city. I hate it. I literally just hate driving anymore. Who knew? When I was a kid, that's all I wanted to do. I turned 16 and I drove all the time. I drove while I was in college all the time. It was like I hit 30 and I was like, I hate driving. Somebody drive me everywhere. And it's a little crazy for me with all this COVID stuff. Like, I'm an introvert, you guys. I'm shy, I'm an introvert, but I like to talk. So, for me, the COVID isolation, all of that, it was not a big deal at all. Like, it does not bother me one bit, not going for months and months without seeing people, because I know I can get online and talk to them. And I need to talk to people, I don't need to see them. I love my family, especially my immediate family, and I see them pretty regularly. But my extended family, I don't see. I have a huge extended family. I have a huge family, and I love it. But I don't see them a lot because everybody's busy and all of that. But I also don't need to. I just need to talk to them. I need to hear from them semi-regularly so that I know that they're okay. And social media is enough for me on that. We all stay in contact via social media. And that's enough for me. So I know that's not enough for a lot of people, but that's all I need. And I wish that I could help other people who struggle with things like that. But I don't really know how to help someone who struggles with things like that, because I honestly don't understand it. Because being around people makes me anxious. Being around people makes me want to go home. I don't like leaving the homestead. I didn't want to drive back home today to pick this stuff up, but I knew that I needed to, and I knew that I needed to get out of the house and away from the kids for a little while, because I don't do enough of that, and that's important. So yeah, this has been a nice drive and just a nice break for me. And it's beautiful to boot. It's humid and hot as heck outside, so I'm grateful for the air conditioning. But yeah, it's just a gorgeous day, and it was the perfect day for a drive. And now I'll have tons of stuff to keep me busy this week while the kids are in school. I feel like, okay, that first week is like everybody's still just adjusting to everything, right? But that second week is when you start feeling it a little more. You're like, it's kind of quiet around here. I kind of miss the kids. And for me, I miss my teenager because he's super helpful. And having him homeschool last year, or virtual school, there's a difference, was awesome, but he didn't do well, so back to school you go. But he was awfully helpful around the house and helpful with his little brothers, and he does anything I ask him to. He's such a good kid. I just love him so stinking much. I dread the day when he moves out. But yeah, I mean, we basically had two families, right? So at 22, I had my son. Our daughter was born when I was 21. She is with us only part-time. She's my special bonus child. And she'll be 18 this year, and she's going to be graduating from high school. And yeah, trying to deal with that is, yeah, it's a little different. She's super responsible. She's ready. She's 18. She's ready. But we also feel like we missed out on a lot with her just because, you know, she's not with us all the time. She lives about 45 minutes north of us, and we do the swap thing, you know. We've done the co-parenting thing for a while here. 17 years, so almost 18. But yeah, she's been in Spain for a month, and she just got back yesterday, and I'm super excited to see her, but I know I'm not going to see her today. Her boyfriend was at Basic when she left, and he had been gone for almost a month at that point. So she hadn't seen him, and she was missing him like crazy, so I know I'm not going to see her today. And I think she starts school on Monday, so it's probably going to be our next weekend before we see her. Boo. But I did chat with her a little bit yesterday, and it sounds like the trip went really, like they had a lot of fun. I don't know how well it went. There was a lot of hiccups, but they had a lot of fun. So that's all that matters, and that's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, so I'm really happy she got to do it. When I was her age, I got to hit France for 3 weeks, so yeah, I really enjoyed that trip, and I hope she enjoyed her trip as much as I enjoyed mine. I hope she wasn't just bumming the whole time because she was missing her boyfriend. So yeah, we'll see how that went when she gets back, and go from there. But let's see, I am almost home. I've got about 15 minutes left to drive. I don't think I have anything else to chat about, but I'm not sure. So we might just leave the camera on until I run out of filming time. what other cool stories did I have to tell about myself? Y'all don't know me very well. I'm trying to do a little chat time so that you can get to know me a little better, because I'm shy and I don't have a lot to talk about. Yeah. So I did, okay. How do I lead into this properly? So, okay, how about this? What do I do for a living? So, what do I do for a living? I do digital design. I have an Etsy shop that I run, and I also have a website. I sell digital designs, just as stated, and I also have a print service that I paired up with, where I take my designs and I can put them on hats and clothing, and gator necks are like one of my favorite things to do. I can do flags, I can do notebooks, I can do, I don't even know, there's all kinds of stuff that I can do. So I've teamed up with a print service so that I can get my digital designs put onto actual products. And I really, really enjoy it. I started doing this at the beginning of January. I switched from, I have had this business since 2017. Trying to think about that. But, I switched from handmade. I used to do handmade stuff. And it was struggling. And I was like, I want to do something different. I'm tired of doing handmade stuff. Like, I got tired of it. It was a lot. So I switched to digital, and I like it a lot better, and having a print service do most of the work for me. They do all the shipping and everything, so I don't have to deal with any of that. I really like it. And now I'm a vlogger, and I create content. So technically I am a mother. That is my first job. And I have D's Delights, which is my business. And then I have my Etsy shop. And then I have content creation. So 4 jobs, technically. But crazy story. So this came up in somebody's live chat. They were talking about haunted houses and haunted places. And it just made me laugh, because I lived in an old school building for a long time that had been converted into apartments. They were huge apartments. They weren't the nicest. It was pretty rough, but you know, you had everything you needed. There was bathrooms in each apartment, and showers and tubs, and a water heater for each apartment separately. And it was cheap as dirt. It was $200 a month for rent, you guys. Cheap as dirt. But we were 20 miles out. But there was a lot of us that lived out there, and that was honestly one of the best times of my life. I was in college. We partied all the time, and it was a lot of fun. So, yeah. But I just thought that was interesting. That old school building was 100% haunted. Crazy. I lived in 3 different apartments in that building, and the first one I started out in was a 1-bedroom, and I did not last very long. And actually it was 4. And then I moved to the other side of the hallway because I thought it would be warmer over there, because it was on the south end. No, wasn't warmer in that apartment. So I got out of that apartment as soon as I could, because it was smaller than my previous apartment. And I moved into a 2-bedroom that was huge. It was the biggest one. It was the second biggest apartment in that whole building. And it was awesome. It was awesome. And then shortly after that, one of the apartments that was up in the old superintendent's home opened up, and I moved up there so that I could be away from all the partying and all the noise and all the other apartments. Up there was 3 apartments. There was an apartment upstairs, and then there was 2 apartments split on the bottom with a doorway that attached in between, and my best friend lived on the other side. So we had a lot of fun with that, but we still had a door we could close to separate and all that. I don't do well with living with others. I'm the youngest, and I don't like it when people touch my things. And obviously I'm a mom, so I've gotten over this. However, still to this day, I don't like living with other people. I would rather live alone, but not true for my kids or my husband. So yeah, but that apartment in that superintendent's building, the craziest stuff would happen in there. We had the boys that lived upstairs. I actually knew them my whole life. They grew up in we all grew up in a small town, most of us that lived out there. And the boys that grew up, I knew them because they were on swim team, and we swam against each other, and we hung out, and I dated one of their friends, yada yada. So a lot of us knew each other previously out there, which was super awesome. Made it a lot easier to make new friends and stuff like that. But they were all National Guard, and they got deployed. And there was nobody living up there. They had the power turned off, yada yada. I kid you not. Every single night at the same time, 1:33 in the morning, an alarm came on, or a radio. It was a radio. It was really, really loud. Now, I asked them when they came back, I was like, do you have a battery-powered radio up there or something that... And they were like, no, there's nothing turned on up there. Nothing at all. There was a radio that would run every morning, and it would run for like 3 hours, and then you'd get up for the day, and it would be gone. And then there was also... this drove me nuts. My kitchen. I would walk into that kitchen, and every cupboard would be open. Every single cupboard. I'd close them. I'd go back into the living room, sit down, do whatever I was doing. I'd come back in to go to the bathroom and walk through or whatever, and the cupboards would be open again. So this ghost, we named him Willie, and I would just be like, Willie, you need to knock it off, dude. Like, stop. You're driving me crazy. And just the weirdest things would happen out there, and people would come out, and they would be scared to go anywhere by themselves. They wouldn't walk around the building by themselves. They wouldn't walk between the superintendent's house and the building. There was this creepy hallway you had to walk through to get into the school building from the superintendent's place. So I totally get that. It was dark. The light would never stay. The bulb blew constantly there. So yeah, it was pretty crazy times, but yeah, I thought I'd share that story with you guys.